Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the Frontline changes report for the past 24 hours. And I'm quite sure you have already watched the previous day's Frontline changes report because the viewership is pretty good. It's very good actually, and I thought that was crazy. Today's Frontline changes report is even crazier than the previous 24 hours. The past 24 hours, crazy shit had happened, and for the pro-Ukrainian guys, know beware emotional damage alert. So there is frontline changes over in the Kursk front, over in Otoborskoye, Vishnevka, the entire western flank, generally speaking, Snagos, Chekaskoye Pereshnoye, Pischany at Pischany front, at Makievka at the Sviatove front, Kalenina at the Bakhmut front, Druzhba, Pivnishne, Torex over at the New York front, and then at the Pokro front we have frontline changes at Krutya, Horodivka, as well as Hostre in the Donetsk front and Zolotaneva. So a lot of very big captures by the Russian forces over the past 24 hours. It looks like the Russians are going ham, and they are trying to achieve as much as possible before the Rasputisa, the muddy season. So we're going to start off with the Kursk front, or Kursk front. At the Kursk front, and the Russian forces have basically, you can see, this is based on Russian claim. This is not confirmed. So let's talk about the confirmed capture first. So Russian forces has been geolocated in the northern part of Krasno-Otoborskoye, and the Russian forces basically have entered from the northern part, attacking into the village. It's tracked by a drone. However, I didn't see fighting in that footage. Not sure what kind of drone is that. Not sure it's Russian or Ukrainian drone that is monitoring, but the Russians are entering in. And then a rifle battle is actually detected at the crossing between the road and the railway line near Vishnevka. And based on the way how the direction of the soldiers, the infantry is attacking the movement, is a bit hard to tell. But it seems like the Russian forces came from Komarovka. I cannot 100% confirm this because the angles feels very weird. They are engaged in rifle battle with Ukrainian troops. I didn't see the Ukrainian troops at all in the video footage, but at least this is the confirmed frontline changes where the Russians actually have moved. However, based on Russian claims, is a lot more. Of course, I believe that the Russians came down from the road along the forest. So let's now talk about the Russian claims. The Russian claims is a lot more dramatic. So the Russian, based on Russian pro-Russian sources, they claimed the capture of Krasno-Otoborskoye, Vishnevska, Blyakovo, Obukovka, Vinebzhanoye, Viktorovka, and Godievka. Basically, the entire western flank. If you believe the Russian narrative, the pro-Russian narrative, they have captured literally the entire western flank. The entire western flank basically have collapsed in basically 2 to 3 days of fighting. Very, very, very sudden, and which is why the capture of Blyakovo makes sense because Blyak. And anyway, that's the situation over in this western flank. These are frontline changes over the western flank of the Kursk front, the Kursk front. So, but like I mentioned, this is based on Russian claims only. The confirmed by geolocation is purely only the Krasno-Otoborskoye, as well as from Komarovka moving towards Vishnevka. So this is the only one that I can firmly confirm because the Ukrainian side have not acknowledged anything. There's also another geolocation at Snagos. So the Ukrainian forces was ambushed. There's a minivan got ambushed by Russian forces in Vishnevka, and this confirmed at least Ukrainian presence around this area here. However, as I mentioned, this is all this pink here is just Russian claims. There's a possibility that the front line is still pretty much within this entire salient. There is no 100% guarantee that the Russians actually moved this far away. There is also another airstrike that was geolocated in Obukovka, and of course these two action might be belated videos, so which is why Russian presence might be a lot further. So the surprise to me is of course the capture of Bukovka. So this is a kind of a surprise to me. But let's see how this goes. These are all just claims. So after the western flank, there is also frontline changes over in Cherkasskoye Poroshnye over in the northern flank. Ukrainian forces has been geolocated in the northern areas of the village, confirming Ukrainian capture of the northern part of Cherkasskoye Poroshnye. Previously, Russian forces has been geolocated in the region in the north, which is why we have this capture. This disputed line, or the Russian claim or capture of the northern part of the Cherkasskoye Poroshnye. However, Ukrainians seems to have fully retaken the entire village at this moment. So let's see how this develop over in this this part of the Kur Front. So after this Cherkasskoye Poroshnye, we go into the Pischane Front over in the along the Oskil rivers. So at the Pischane Front, there is new updates coming from the Ukrainian mapping. Ukrainian mapped on the western part of Pischane. Russian forces have captured more grounds in the direction of Krylyakivka. Over in this direction. So the Russian forces basically have expanded the control as expected. As I mentioned, the Russians is likely to want to secure this entire capture of Pischane and the development of the Pischane Front. So they will likely to continue to expand the base of this entire salient to ensure that this cannot be collapsed anymore. So if you zoom in a bit, you can see that the Russians basically have captured some of these tree lines and the valleys and the gullies. So that's about it. Nothing very exciting per se, but this definitely still close up the distance between Krylyakivka and the front line. Now the front line is 3.62 kilometers away. So that's all for the Pischane Front. The next front line change, we go into the Sviatove Front at Makiivka. Ukrainian mapping have disclaimed this area here in Makiivka. They have now confirmed that the Russians have taken this entire western part of Makiivka, leaving a little bit of gray zones around here. They like to use the gray zones to minimize the losses, at least on paper or mapping. But the Russians have already claimed the entire half of Makiivka, or most of it actually, along the river. So we'll continue to monitor the situation over this sector. And after Makiivka, we go into the Bakhmut Front. Over at Kalinina. At Kalinina, there's a geolocation of Russian forces getting bombarded by Ukrainian troops as they try to explore northward. As they explore northward, they engage into Ukrainian forces. So and then they kind of just return back to their entrenchment. But this proof Russian have captured more grounds around here. There is no Ukrainian presence. So that's it for this region at Kalinina at the Bakhmut Front. So this Kalinina, as I zoom out a bit, this is Bakhmut city. So, and after Kalinina, the next front line change, we move to the next front line over at the New York Front. At the Torex sector, at Druzhba and Pivnechny, Russian forces have expanded their control a little bit. These are based on pro-Russian claims. This is not confirmed by the Ukrainian side. These are just Russian claims, with the Russians on the verge of full capture of Druzhba, as well as expanding their control at Pivnechny, or is a little bit left, but this little bit left never completes. So we will continue to monitor. Despite the Russian Defense Ministry already announced the capture of Pivnechny, however, the entire full settlement doesn't seem to be fully captured just yet. And after Pivnechny, we go at Torex. There is also frontline changes. Russian forces geolocated in a new position, moving towards the center of the city. This time around, south of the geolocation that we have reported yesterday, as they continue to slowly move towards the center. So this is still in the suburb. The progress is relatively slow compared to all the other front line, but can't be helped. This is urban warfare, so it's going to take some time. And after Torex, after the frontline change at Torex, the next frontline change, we move into Krytia over at the Pokro Front. So Pokro, this is Pokro, and this is the Pokro Front, and this is an arrow, and there's no meaning in it. So we go at Krytia, very interesting geolocation. Ukrainian forces actually landed troops, and they were geolocated at this position. and they were under attack by Russian drones. So which means the Ukrainians have actually full control over Krytia, and they have actually tried to expand southward to try to slow down or complicate the Russian lines around here. Because at the same time, the Russians were geolocated in the north of Novokhorodivka. And this geolocation means that the Russians have full capture of Novokhorodivka. This is the first indication of 100% full capture, first confirmation. So I have given a flag to the Russian. Novokhorodivka is now under Russian control. It was previously announced by the Russian Defense Ministry 2 days ago, or 3 days ago. And Rybar first reported even longer ago, around 2 weeks ago, that Novokhorodivka has been captured by the Russian forces. Ukrainian forces, however, is now trying to go into the center to get encircled. No, I mean they are trying to encircle the Russians. Either way, it can actually happen this way, or of course it can also happen like this way. I mean, both are pincer. So, see whose scissors is sharper. So, that's all for the Novokhorodivka region. The next frontline change, we move further south. And at Khostry, some crazy shit had happened west of Krasnohorivka. And Russian forces has been detected to launch a massive offensive in the direction of Otrivsky and Voshchenka. The Russian forces have even entered into Khostry with Russian forces shown in drone footage that they were under attack by the Ukrainian drones, and they are also fighting in the direction of Oleksandropil. So with these two geolocation, this confirmed the Russians have captured everything west of Krasnohorivka in this massive assault. It's a combined arms assault. There is mechanized troops, tanks, infantry storms into the villages, and the footage looks really epic. Very big assault. So some almost close to the reminiscence of what happened in World War II. So very interesting situation over in this area here. This is a massive loss of ground. Just this polygon alone is 15 square kilometers. So this is actually pretty big. And the full distance, we go from Krasnohorivka to the furthest extent is around 7 kilometers, 6.5 kilometers or 6.7 kilometers. So this is a huge expansion of Russian control. And there's a high chance that it's even bigger because the Russian lines at Maximelinivka is actually over here. There's a high chance that the Russians have also attacked in the Georgievka region, making the front line a lot more something like this, or even straighten the front line. That's also a possibility. So these are frontline changes over at Khostry, and more crazy frontline changes. There's one last one over at Zolota Neva. Another huge amount of frontline change. This is 9 square kilometers of ground captured with the Russian forces attacking towards Zolota Neva on the western part of Prishestivka as well as on the northeast of Novodonetsk. And the Russian forces basically have attacked and captured a lot of grounds. We have expected this to happen, but we didn't have all this information yet. And suddenly today, everything just dropped. And the Ukrainian forces are still holding Zolota Neva. So anyone that told you Zolota Neva was captured, clearly it haven't happened yet. And Russians are still, on the offensive. And it looks like the battle of Zolota Neva is going to happen within the next 2 days. Because of the progress, I think the Ukrainians do not have what it takes to hold the Russian back. And this is yet another massive frontline change. So this are all the frontline changes report, and I'm interested to see how much is this ground. So this entire polygon is 92.7 square kilometers. So if we include the previous captures, it's more than 100 square kilometers that was recaptured by the Russians in the Kursk region or the Kursk region. So the Kursk offensive, the Ukrainian Kursk offensive is looking very cursed right now. And so anyway, these are all the frontline changes report. And I'm surprised, it's only 40 minutes. I thought that we're going to take 20 minutes to cover everything. So anyway, thank you for watching. Do press the like button, subscribe. Wait for the situation report. Yesterday, I didn't do the conclusions because I was super tired. And I don't really have anything more to add per se. So anyway, check out later today. We will have a lot to talk about in the conclusions. So it will be 12 hours from now, I guess, from this at this point of recording, or maybe 14 hours. Let's see how this goes. Anyway, thank you for watching. Press the like button, subscribe. If you're not subscribed, you should subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next update.